Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all feeling okay, and just a welcome if you happen to be new. This video is going to be all about my horsey winter routine. So I'm doing it a little bit of the wrong way round because I'm starting in the evening. You might be able to see from our friend the clock that it is about 8:30 in the evening. So I don't know why I'm doing it this way around, but anyway, I'll show you my evening routine first and then I'll show you in the morning. So today I have just finished teaching. Sometimes I would ride in the evening. I would just be finishing about this time anyway. But this is quite a regular evening thing that I could be finishing teaching. So now what I am going to do is make the pony feeds. Okay, so if you've seen my feeding vlog, you'll know what ponies eat. So I'll just make up these feeds.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in.
Okay, so that is Maggie and Titan's feeds on to soak. The pink mash doesn't soak quite as quickly in this chilly cold weather as it does during warmer months. But I'd already set Donut and Flint's off to soak beforehand. So you might be aware, having watched about Donut getting his house and Flint obviously, but the horses are like half and half at the minute. So Flint and Donut have a field shelter and they live out 24/7, although I must admit Donut seems to spend nearly all his time in his house. He loves it. So my routine tends to be I will go and take feeds and hay down to Flint and Donut. I've just suddenly thought I need to get some carrots. Ooh, there's not many left. Let's go get some more from the carrot lady. Put some carrots in their feed like so. Yeah, so I'll take haylage feeds down to Donut and Flint and just get them checked on and sorted for the evening. And then on my way back up to the yard, I will fetch Maggie and Titan in. So their food is about soaked enough. I still haven't bought Donut his purple bucket. I need to get Maggie a new one. So notice how it's sat inside the orange bucket. That's because she kicks her bucket so much while she eats it. She's put holes in it. So obviously while I'm soaking the mash, it goes all over the floor if I don't do that. Whereas if I pop it inside Titan's, it I think it closes up the holes a little bit and then any extra goes into his. So I reckon they're soaked enough that I can add the chaff, mix them, pop them in the stables ready for when they come in. And then we will go and get some hay for the boys down in the field on the bottom yard, as we're going to call it.
We'll make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air. Look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside.
Okay then, so let's go put these feed bowls into the stables. So dark. I find this weather like tiring, but I am getting more used to it now. My Maggie's bucket. And she has her haylage in buckets on the floor, which is obviously a good way to feed them. They naturally eat with their head down. You're not risking getting their feet caught in hay nets. Titan, I cannot trust him not to throw that whole lot in the middle of his bed and then wee on it or something. And I know it's not the best way to feed him, but I figure he is 16 now. He has a strong top line. I can trust him not to put his feet in it. I'll just stack these buckets up. And there does have to come a time where it is a practicality thing. So normally I'd have 2 hens, but obviously I am vlogging at the same time, so I'm going to try and pick up stable rugs, which I've grabbed off the shelf, with 2 hens. The blue one's Titan's, the black one's Maggie's. Jump over the puddle. So these are going to be all prepped to come in. Where should I put Maggie's rug? Just here, that'll do. And I can pop Tity's rug down, ready for him. Pop that over here. And obviously I like to have the stables all done first thing in the morning. Nice warm beds. I just try to avoid ending up doing my stables in the evening, because I know, like, it's one of those things that I spend all day going, oh my god, I've got to do that, oh my god, I've got to do that. Sorry, it's really dark. Just a second, I'll have a light on. So my hay barn doesn't have lights wired in, but we just have I'll show you, these handy little rechargeable lights, and I have some nails up here that I can hang them on, and they light the whole room up really well. I can see what I'm doing perfectly well. So we have both hay and haylage in. The guy, when they're out, they can have a bit of hay. When they're in, they have the haylage. It's quite a dry haylage, so it's not like rocket fuel. And I've already done a net by the looks of it. I think I will pop another section of haylage on the wheelbarrow, go and fetch the buckets, and we'll see you down at Flint and Donuts Field. Okay, I thought I'd show you this. So I come from the yard. The yard's the other side of the barn, and I just come past light switches, and we're quite lucky to have such good lights here, and the lights switch on instantly with the arena. So this is my barrow. Maggie and Titan are up close to the yard, but I come and switch the lights on because you should be able to see, that's Donut. You see the reflection. But it's just ideal to have the extra lights on, so I can just have a good look round, check the field, everything, and see the profile of the horses as I walk through, because obviously pitch black, feed buckets in the barrow, it's not the most ideal thing, so just having a bit of extra help is always gratefully received, appreciated. I don't know, it's too late to think of words. Okay, so I'm in the shelter. The little lights are on. They're not the best in the world, but they are good enough, certainly, to, I mean, the camera's even picking it up, to see the horses and check them over. I'll usually pop my torch on just to check their legs a little bit better. But there's Flinty eating his dinner. In the corner, they have a hay net, which just keeps off the ground, because, like, see here, Flint's pulled some of his haylage outside and it's mixed in the mud a little bit. So since the last vlog, I've put rubber matting down in the stable. Well, a little bit of rubber matting in the shelter. It's not so bad inside, it's more outside where it's a bit squidgy. I intend on putting up guttering this weekend, which will help out with the mud as well. It's just a one step out a time jobby. Here's a donut, and they love the shelters. He's got his little salt lick here, which I keep turning so it doesn't wear through, because he likes to use it a lot. And then I will just add in a bit of haylage on the floor, because both of them have plenty of hay in their hay nets. Just there, big hay nets. But we believe in giving them as much forage as they need. Their fields are still fairly grassy, to be fair. It's not like that stopped growing. But you know, there's not a huge amount of nutrients, and the food keeps them warm. Just trying to carry a piece of haylage with one hand. There we go, that was successful, wasn't it, Donny? Nice bit of haylage. So yeah, like I say, what I'm about to do is switch off so that I can utilize my phone. I will check their legs, check that Donut still has 4 shoes on. Flint's got all of his shoes off. Take my gloves off, check that Donny's warm enough. Flinty! Okay, so my phone's actually let me put the torch on. So what I do is I just check his legs over, give them a feel if anything looks untoward. I'm pretty good at spotting anything, but I'm just checking for any filling, any nicks or cuts or grazes. And the same on him. He's plenty warm enough. You're roasty toasty, Mr. Man. If he doesn't feel warm under here, if he was any warmer than he feels now, I'd be putting a lighter weight rug on. I will always check just under here, just up by his sheath, because that is sort of closer to his core temperature. Despite slightly muddy feet, check that he's got all his shoesies on. Just check. Good boy. And he's happy and all okay in himself. You alright, Flinty? He says, yeah, I'm just standing outside. You can see his haylage and the likes. So yeah, I've already done his check, obviously. Let's go get the others who are done and we can take your bucket away, can't we? Good night, Donut. Say good night. Good boy. He loves being muddy. You're gonna need a spruce up, Mr. Muddy Man. I like to keep necks off if I can, because then we don't lose any mane. These are the rubber mats. They're doing a good job with the mud. Flint's side isn't as good, but like I say, the guttering will help that out. Let's go get Mags and Tights. Say good night, Donutty. Good boy. Okay, I'm on my way in, attached to 2 ponies. I don't think you can see anything other than my face yet. Oh. So the gateway is always a bit tricky because I have to go one behind each other. Can you see Maggie's blaze? There we go. You'll see more as we get under the light. There's Titan. They know the routine in an evening, and they are quite good talking. There are occasional evenings where they're not so good and I can't just walk along like this, but in goes Titan. Ooh, in goes Maggie. We'll pop up some chains.
Just us in the sky. I will go wherever. I'll be yours
forever. Okay, so that's the rugs change, just in time for Mr. Panda Bear to finish his dinner. He's on to eating your haylage. Good boy. So I need to go do Maggie's, but I try really hard not to lose their manes through winter as much as I can. He never has very much mane down there anyway, I think from years of probably losing his mane. But this is probably the best I've had it, to be fair. So I think whatever you do, you're likely to lose mane through winter unless they're unrugged. And with them being clipped, I tend to turn them out with their necks on, their turnout rugs, whereas Donut's unclipped, so I'm not too worried about him wearing a neck. At the minute, when he's in more work, and maybe I've clipped him off, that'll be different. I'll probably want a neck on him at that stage. So what I do to try and preserve their manes as much as I can is they are always rugged without a neck in their stable. If it's cold, I just put more rugging on if they need it. And then what I do is they have brushes in all of their stables because they're quite good. Hello, lady. Hey, sweetheart. And they don't tend to try and pull them down. So here's Maggie's hairbrush. Going back to your haylage. Says yeah. And I just brush through, particularly the base area where they tend to lose it, just to get the excess oils out and stimulate the growth and just make sure that it's not going to get bogged down and got a bit of mud. Muddy girl. Yeah, just a quick brush through. It doesn't take very long. You right, sweetheart? It says hello. Hello. Good girl. Yeah. And that's the best thing that I've found, to be fair. I don't think using hoods work or whatever. It might work for other people, but I've not found it work. I actually bought Maggie like a wither relief rug, good girl, at some stage that had padding here. It was a turnout rug, and supposedly would have lifted the neck off their mane, so then it wouldn't rub out as much, but I actually think it was worse, which is quite funny. So yeah, she's got a slightly heavier rug on than Titan because she's more freshly clipped, and they like their food, and that's them done in the stable. So I've now, both of their buckets are empty, so I can grab them out, save something to trip over when we're about, and then I will take their turnout rugs and put them on our rug dryer. So I'm going to put you in my pocket while I do that, so I don't have to make 2 trips. You right, pretty? So we're really lucky to have our rug dryer. It is a super piece of kit, you know, like when you've been washing numbners or you've got a damp numbner after you've ridden. It is fantastic. We got ours ex demo. It's a dry me one. I think they do them in green now. This one's quite old, but it really does the trick, and it means that I can just about get 2 on. I can do a third, but it doesn't do the job quite so well. But it means that when the rugs are slightly damp, they're usually dry by the morning when I put them back on. If they're wet, they've dried off a bit, but they're still warm. So it's a bit nicer on a winter's morning that they're not getting a cold rug straight onto their back. And if I have any horses that are a bit cold backed in, and to be fair, Maggie can be a bit funny about having a backup when you first get on her sometimes. She's certainly not cold backed, but sensitive, I would say. Particularly on a day where she's feeling a bit fresh. I usually put her number on here for a little bit, so she's having a bit of a warm pad on, so she doesn't have to work as hard to warm it up. So it's just nice. So with the one rug, I just throw it over, then I fold it back, and then I do the same with the other. So there we go, that is pretty much it this evening. Obviously I've been teaching or whatever, but I try and leave everything done so that on an evening like this, when it's going to be a late finish, it's quite quick and simple. I've done it in less than an hour while faffing about vlogging and not charging about. I can probably get done in sort of like half an hour or so if I'm completely focused on just the horses and getting done quick. So I might as well switch my solarium off. I need to replace a couple of light bulbs. So yeah, that's it, ready for the morning. Everybody's fed, everybody's checked over, they're all happy, healthy and well, and we will see you in the morning. Do you want to come say night to Maggie and Tights with me? Let's do that. All right, Gilly, got an itchy nose. You're right. Bedtime. You're hungry. Good night, Mr. Tighty Bear. You need a bath and a haircut. See you morning. Right then, guys. See you in a tick. It'll be morning before we know it. Good morning. Oh, you've not long out of bed, are you? With bedding all on your face. Good boy. Hello, young lady. Good girl. How's your stable looking, sweetheart? Tidy. Look at you. Good boy. Did you have a good night's sleep? Yeah. Oh, hello. We're back again already. It's not been very long, has it? Mwah. It's just turning 6 a.m. I've got my 2 lovely sleepy ponies. So I'm going to ride little Miss Moo because we've got a dressage competition coming up on Sunday. I hack at the weekends. In the week there is not enough daylight to do anything without lights, so both days of the weekends, if I can, if I'm not commuting, we hack, don't we? And then they alternate as a rule in the week. So Maggie Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Titan Tuesday and Thursday this week. But yeah, we're gonna ride. We're trying to beat the rain, as you can tell. Thankfully it's not raining yet. I've got my Barrow and Pupica, so I'm just going to skip the ponies out first, and then we'll get tacking Maggie up.
I bet you don't even know my name, but that's okay, I can't blame you. You've got better things to worry about, like kissing strangers when you go out, spending time with all your friends. Wish I had the guts to ask you out sometime, but I know this could never be. But if I am allowed to dream, and it was you and me, then I would laugh with you all night, take my chance and hold you close, and I'd follow you back home. If I could be somebody else, I would be your Romeo, and I would never let you go. Maybe I could be your stranger. One too many and strobing lights, yet I can spot you in this crowd. Am I staring way too obvious? What if I give her
There you go. Good girl. We're going to do a dressage school today. Recently Harry doing it. Can you see the reflectives there? That's Donut. Or is it Flint? Oh, it's both of them. Good morning, boys.
I would laugh with you all night, take my chance and hold you close, and I'd follow you back home. If I could be somebody else, I would be your Romeo, and I would never let you go. Maybe I could be your stranger. Maybe I could be your stranger. Oh, come on.
Okay, so I was doing lots of transitions and stretching and bending with her. She was slightly on the forehand and a bit on her head today. And sometimes that can just be the mood she's in, and other times it's just like because she's not schooled for a few days, she's been hacking and lunging, so lots of transitions to get her back in soft carriage, and then flexing down into stretching over her back too to bring those muscles up over her back and with her belly. Now she coughed a couple of times, so I've just finished slightly earlier than I usually would because she just did 2 coughs. I've just, while I got off, I had a look. She's got a little bit of white snot down her left nostril. Now she's really prone. She's a bit like me. If I get cold, I get a runny nose, and she's really prone to do that. So I think that's more the case, and it might be that she just needs a little bit of extra rugging. But I'm very aware that her immune system will be a lot more dropped than it was before her surgery and everything. So she can be liable to pick up little bugs and the like. So I just want to be really careful with her. So just to give her a helping hand, given I've got the kit for Titan, I'm going to pop that light. Come on, good girl. Oh, I can hear him yelling. I hope it's not waking everyone up. I'm going to have a go at putting the nebulizer on quickly before I turn her out, just to help get any gunk and yuckiness out. They're like us, they can pick up little colds. It's not the end of the world unless it's going to get worse and damage their system, and obviously they've got a very sensitive system. They're incredible athletes, but they're also incredibly delicate. So I just try and do all I can and keep listening to her. All being well, that should help out, and she'll be fine tomorrow. I think I might sit on you again tomorrow. Hello, Beastie. You alright? Yeah? Yeah, so I need to be quick now because that was my 7 o'clock alarm. Well, actually, I snoozed it while I was riding, so I'll be like 7:10. Oh, Megsy, we're short of time. But anyway, I want to get this nebulizer into her because if it's going to help, then it is worthwhile. So, do you want to hop up with me? Ooh, there we go. Hello. Look, you can just, if she isn't rude. Maggie, head's not that itchy. Can you just see that tiny bit of snot? That's what I'm referring to. Good girl. And she was just snorting a little bit. It's obviously annoying her. So we'll get that washed off her nose. Good girlie. And I'll pop a little under rug underneath her rug in case it's she's getting cold. Our fields are incredibly flat. So obviously Flint and Donut have shelter now in form of the shelter. Other than that, there's one field only that's got like any sort of windbreak or anything along the lines of that. So I do have to rug them up a bit more than other people might, because we're in the middle of nowhere and the wind gusts across. But I always just check their temperatures and make sure they're okay. Right then, lady, let's get you untacked. Can you see her dapples? I know I bring them up every time you're on the vlog, but I just love them. They're so pretty, even on a bottom. Mwah. Right, let's untack.
Stop staring in the mirror, you act like a loser. Be the best you can and just give it a try. I'm walking towards you, my legs are shaking. I'm in double speed and my heart is
Right, I've
racing.
just popped a little lightweight stable rug on her that can go under her turnout. I know there's a massive thing out there about over rugging, and don't worry, I'm well aware. Flint quite happily lives out most of the time with no rug unless it's really, really bad weather. But you have to go horse by horse. And Maggie, you know, I can tell she feels cold just by feeling her temperature and knowing her temperature. I can take her temperature as well. I think I can hear someone. Is that my mother? Maybe? Can't see her. But no, so I keep an eye on her. And like humans, everybody is different, so we just keep an eye and do it. I've come with bucket and sponge to wash her nose off and the nebulizer, so we best be quick, little lady. She's looking at me as if to say, what are we doing?
Best I can, just give it a try.
She's actually just been so good with it. So much less dramatic than Titan. Good girl. Oh, and it's all right, baby. She's just spooking. See how she's spooking? Good girl. She's got the steam coming up because it doesn't fit as snugly on her nose. This is the thoroughbred one. It's the warm blood one. Good girl. No, not the warm blood. You can get a warm blood, which is bigger, but this is the smallest one. She's got a teeny tiny nose, so I think if I was buying it for her specifically, she'd probably need like a pony one. Ooh, I might look into seeing if I can get one that doesn't, like an attachment or something that makes it a bit littler. So in here, see how this is, all right, baby, good girl. See how that's all white, that's saline, it's just mist. Or steam, or whatever you want to call it. I think it must be misted. It can't be that warm. Hello, baby. And she's just gonna have that. I've given her about 3 mils. And I think that's gonna be enough today, just to do it. And I'll probably do it again tonight, and just see how she is. There's a good girl. These lights are the battery indicators. This one's a battery indicator. It's on the middle one. So I've not charged it yet, it lasts for ages. And then this is on different settings, so I've got it on the strongest setting just because the vets told me to put it on that one. Yeah, there's a good girl.
And now you laugh with me all night. Took my chance and held you close, and I followed you back home. No need to be somebody else. I can be your Romeo.
Look who's here. Say hello. Hello. Good morning. And of course, along with Mum comes treats and gifts for the ponies. So they know it's time to go out now. Oh. And rain. It has just started raining, unfortunately. Oh dear kitties, it's raining. That's it. Apparently it's only meant to rain until 10. Mum's just biking around to the boys. I'm going to get the stable that gateway. It's quite narrow. You can only get a horse one by one through. So, right, I'm going to get these let off. Hello. You alright? Good boy.
I'm waiting at the doorstep. I'm finally home. I've been gone for too long. Standing here a while just
Right then, that is bed's done. I've taken a bit of haylage from Maggie's and topped up Titan's with it, just in case he gets hungry. And then this is Maggie's, and she's got a fresh section of haylage in a bucket. Mum's off doing waters. I now need to put the tools away, so empty the barrow, pop the tools away, and pop those barrows away. I've swept outside the best I can, given the wet conditions. And once the waters go in, that's us done. There we go, just lifted the water in. Clean fresh waters. We only half fill the buckets because they don't drink all of it overnight. If they start getting a bit low, we fill them a bit more, but I prefer to give them fresh every day than a full to the brim bucket that ends up wasting water. So yes, as you can see, all done as it was at the start of the vlog, ready for me to fetch him tonight. I might even have time to work Titan quickly, which would be nice to get an extra session for him in. But what's wrong? What's
In my pocket.
what's wrong?
I rang Helen and told her there was poo in the donut stable by mistake. Pocket knives.
Oh, my poor mum's clients. I mean, to be fair, they ring her all the hours of the day too. Yeah, oh dear. What was I saying? I don't even know what time it is. It's time that I get home and very quickly sort out my face and look more presentable for work than this, because this really wouldn't be acceptable. I don't know about you, but I am very, very ready for a cup of tea and some breakfast now. So on that note, I will leave it. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'd be interested to hear about your winter routines, because It's not the easiest trudging around in lovely rainy conditions, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.